for the last time. In the case of some of them, there are quite a few notable free agents this offseason on this team, as you see here. Ryan Tannehill, Marcus Mariota, Derrick Henry, Jack Conklin on the line, Logan Ryan on the back end of their defense. Every team has to kind of remake themselves every offseason. That's quite a remake if they lose all of those players. I assume that they won't, that some of those players will be prioritized to come back. Will they be back next year? Is this a team that you think, okay, they're building, or was this like a one-year run shot that they had?
I feel like they're building, but I think for them to be back, Derrick Henry has to be back. And I think he was the heart and soul of that team, not just the offense. I felt like the defense fed off of him as well. So priority number one, we've got to figure out Derrick Henry. He has to be back. Now, in what capacity? That's the big question. Obviously, the projected franchise tag number for running backs next year is $12.5 million. That's pretty cheap if you ask me. So is the tag in play for him? If not, I mean, the long-term deal, obviously the quarterback situation is going to play a factor, but I think Derrick Henry has to be a big part of their offseason. That's got to be priority number one, get him locked up for the long term, because that offense is built to go through him. And when you look at that division, you know, with Indy and with Houston and with Jacksonville, what they're trying to do, you've got to have that run game.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right, Sean. When you think about the dynamic of this football team, normally you would say, give me the quarterback and we'll figure out the running back situation later. But this team is truly a different type of football team. Derrick Henry is the heartbeat and the soul of that football team. He is the offense, as we saw through the course of the playoffs. Anytime you give a guy the football that many times, to me, it was a mystery that he never got a deal done prior to this point, because the back half of his season last year kind of let you know, hey, this is the way we're going to be winning football games. Absolutely, it was coming. And so, you know, you asked the question, Lindsay, will this team be back? Not if Derrick Henry's not on this football team. I just don't know if there's another running back in this league who's built to carry that type of a load. That's why so many teams have a two-headed monster, or, you know, they tend to give their running back the ball in space as a receiver, a la Christian McCaffrey, where he's not necessarily running up the middle where he's getting hit by 3 or 4 different guys. And so, but to me, Tennessee was a overachiever. I think we all thought they had a chance to go in New England and get a win. I don't think anybody thought they were going to go into Baltimore and get that win. And so for me, will this team be back? I don't know. You know, I do not know. I don't know if you can keep winning football games this way. They were able to do it through the course of this playoff run. But, man, you know, to sit back there and run the ball that many times and have a defense just teeing off on you. You saw Kansas City, who has not been good for the better part of the season. They kind of made a little run toward the end. But for Kansas City to come out and really stop that rushing attack, let you know, it is a mindset tackling. And for guys who want to tackle, and knowing what was on the line, I knew that Kansas City Chiefs defense would come to tackling. So I think you have to be able to throw the football, especially with the receivers that Tennessee has,
and that
A.J.
brings
Brown
us
and Corey Davis.
To Tannehill.
Yeah.
And the other big question mark that they have, what should they do there?
I think bring back Tannehill.
You do?
On the tag or a long-term deal?
Well, I think you can pay Tannehill, and you know what? Look at the Kirk Cousins model, but 3-year deal, and you pay him, and the injury factor is not going to be as risky with Tannehill as it would be a long-term deal with Derrick Henry. So, yeah, if you pay Tannehill, you could franchise tag Derrick Henry and then see how it plays out after next year. There is enough money, I believe, to get them both. And to be honest with you, I think Ryan Tannehill would say, I like this team, I like this city, I like what we did. And look, he took over in week 7. So you give him a full season, he could be a starter in the Pro Bowl, not a replacement.
What about the Packers, the other team that lost this past weekend and cleaned out their lockers yesterday in Green Bay? Didn't hear from many of the players. As you see here, this locker room is empty. But this is a team that we talked about all season long. They were maybe more successful than we thought they were talented.
Yeah.
How do they get more talented this offseason? How do they change that? What do they need to add?
Well, I think another year of just being in Matt LaFleur's offense, being in this scheme, for Aaron Rodgers will make him a little bit more confident and make this whole offense just click and gel that much better. Defense, too. I think a lot of people don't realize that continuity means something in the National Football League when you talk about being able to know and understand a playbook inside and out. But, one thing to me that's kind of glaring is the need to have another guy opposite Davante Adams. We know Davante Adams is a dominant receiver in this league. He needs some help. He absolutely needs some help opposite him. This Green Bay team needs more speed. If you look at how Sean McVay put his influence in Los Angeles with the Rams, if you see what Kyle's done, with the 49ers, you got to have a guy that takes the top off so they can run some of those race balls when the run game's going and you can use that play action. Davante Adams is an incredible #1 receiver, but he needs another guy a la like a Will Fuller, just a guy that can take the top off.
Well, it sounds like it's a good year for wide receivers in the draft,
yeah,
so this might be the right time for them to go get somebody. What do you think? Wide receiver, or where would you go?
Defense.
Defense.
I think first and foremost, the Green Bay Packers have to figure out what are we doing with Blake Martinez. He was a tackling machine this year. He was all over the field. They need to sign him, lock down the middle of that defense. And then also, I think in the secondary, look, they've got a lot of young corners, some really good corners. Kevin King played really well, but I thought the liability for them in the postseason was their safety position. Darnell Savage had a really rough game against the 49ers. The fact that they didn't have an enforcer in that secondary to come down and help shut down that run game, that is what exposed them in the playoffs. They needed some help on that end.
All right, that's next year for the Packers and the Titans, and we will get a chance to address that a lot in the months to come. After the break on NFL Total Access, what happens in Vegas is definitely not staying in Vegas, because we are telling everyone about the new stadium and the only in Vegas plan for Draft Day. That is coming up right after this. First, though, a few words from Good Morning Football.
This is Good Morning Football. Two uniformed gentlemen. Angry Runs here meets Patrick Mahomes. You wearing that thing until we get to Miami?
Might not take it off. It's fine. What do we got on the show tomorrow, Kat?
I love that. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl, of course, down in Miami. Also, the long show, the longest plays from championship weekend. It'll be a lot of fun.
I'm wearing the Mahomes jersey because he might be the most exciting player in the NFL. And on tomorrow's show, we are going to show his best plays, not only of the season, of his career. Buckle up, Chiefs fans.
Trace,
this one's for you.
You created that segment for him.
This
it really
it's
is.
Literally his inception.
It really is. That's the guy. You said the most exciting player in the NFL. We're also having the most exciting player of all time, Barry Sanders, on the show.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
No, but he's on the show tomorrow? I had no idea. No Nate Burleson tomorrow, but a friend of his who also pretends to be vegan, MJD.
I love
7 a.m.
those.
Eastern right here on Good Morning Football.
So this is going to be fun. The 85th annual NFL Draft in Vegas, baby. And just like everything else in Vegas, it's going to be super flashy with a main stage that we're going to show you here.
A lot of lights.
Right next to the brand new Caesars Forum. There's also going to be an NFL Draft Experience, which will be next to the main stage. That'll be free with lots of activities for people who want to bring their families and things like that. There's also going to be a red carpet, guys, set up literally on the water.
Wow.
That is the Bellagio water.
So they're going to walk on water.
Yup. Players will be ferried to this red carpet by boat.
That's gangster.
Boats and bros. Boats and bros. Here we go.
What?
I love it.
It's going to be fun. I want in on this. April 23rd, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's on ESPN and also NFL Network. And
should be on HBO.
This is all to celebrate the Raiders moving to Las Vegas, their stadium underway, and head coach John Gruden got a chance to get a first-hand look at it recently, and we got to go along.
I've been waiting for this. You guys ready?
You gotta see this to believe it, man.
I know.
What do you think? I can't get over it. I just love the black, shiny.
So typically, let's say we've got a 1 o'clock Sunday game. Field tray comes in Friday night, acclimates to the conditions. We play our games on Sunday. First thing Monday morning, grass goes back out. Get it ready for the next week.
Look at this place, man. You can have a vision for this stuff, but when you make it a reality, man, it's hard to believe. People aren't going to believe this. Yeah, this is jaw-dropping. I mean, I was a coach's kid at Notre Dame, got to coach for the Green Bay Packers, and as a broadcaster, got to see a lot of different stadiums. I have never seen a place like this. This place is off the hook, and it's credit to Mark Davis and to all these thousands of workers and the time they put in. Good luck, man. What's going on? Good, man. Nice to meet you. You play linebacker?
No, I was a tight end.
Oh, you look like a tight end.
Your post-game press conference room. It'll have a little mini stage in here. It's going to be pretty cool.
We got to get back to work. We got to win, man. We got to get back to work now.
That's going to be fun. So we'll have 2 new stadiums next year. The one in Vegas opening up, the one in Inglewood here, the Rams and the Chargers. Should be fun because all of these stadiums are always like the latest and greatest. So what's the newest thing going to be that nobody else has?
It's going to be awesome. The Wi-Fi in those stadiums is going to be off the hook.
You see John talking about, hey, man, you play linebacker? He's always recruiting, man. John's always recruiting.
I love him in the hard hat. That costume was pretty cool, man.
I know. He looks like he's ready for a home improvement show.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get his hands dirty.
Don't give him any ideas. He makes enough money doing his job, his day job. He doesn't need to take on any other activities. You know who is taking on another gig? That is J.J. Watt, who is going to be hosting Saturday Night Live the night before the Super Bowl. Tweeted, I can't even pretend to hide my excitement about this. This is something truly special. I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity from Lauren and everyone involved at NBC SNL New York City. Let's have some fun.
Okay.
He's going to be the latest in a long line of NFL hosts on
He better wear a
SNL.
dress.
Do you think he'll be good?
At some point. Bring it. I don't know.
Is
I
he
haven't
funny?
seen. He's so fiery. You know, I don't know if we got the comedic side of J.J. Watt.
I think he's going to have some good stuff.
Interesting.
I think they'll give him some good material.
There will probably be some sort of brother skit involved too with the family, with Derrick and TJ. They'll get that in.
Yeah,
something with the bloody nose, which he seemingly always has. What was that dance that you were doing while we were watching it?
Oh, yeah, he's going to live in a van down by the river.
Okay,
just I'm going to shower regularly.
We're just workshopping for you here, JJ. I don't know that you
just
need
throwing
to
some
take us
things
up
out there
on
for
that.
you. Use it if you want. Don't if you don't.
All right, Senior Bowl recap coming up on NFL Network, and we're right back here.